Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever in the world you are. I'm Amelia, the host of this Courageous Self-Love Healing Circle, and divine synchronicity has placed me in the home of my friend here, Grace, who is also joining the Courageous Self-Love Healing Circle as a participant. It just worked out. It was just so great. And then we've got Gloria on the line. We've got Ellen and Mystery Caller 919. I'm going to call you Mystery Caller 919. So just to really, why don't we just get here? Because I also still need to get here. Okay, so just go ahead and wherever you are, just focus on your breath. Remember that you have your breath. And just really drop into your body. If your day was anything like mine, it was crazy pants. And even if your day wasn't like mine, just really arrive here in your body and get present. Anything that happened before this moment is in the past. So you can just let that go now. Really give yourself permission to be here in this moment. And anything that you might have to do after this, that's in the future. So you can let that go too. You made the conscious decision to be here, whether live or on the recording. So really commit to that decision and be here now. Allow your breath to travel throughout your entire body. Make sure you allow the breath to even travel to spots that you often skip because maybe you just forget. Maybe it's a part of your body that you're still learning to love. But just let the breath travel through all the way up and down your entire body. And as the breath travels through, let that signal that part of your body to get present to this moment. And let the background sounds only take you deeper into this presence. And just congratulate yourself, whether you give yourself a little squeeze or a pat on the back. Congratulate yourself for choosing to be here in this moment for you and for the purpose of your healing and taking yourself to the next level. And Gloria, I think that might be you with the sirens in the background. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, so whenever, I definitely want you to be unmuted to share, but whenever you are not sharing, that would be good too. Thank you, everyone. I needed that. I'm sure you needed that.
I suddenly could hear the ringing of some device, and it was calming. It's like, oh, I can tell when I'm present, when I'm noticing the birds chirping, or
Yeah.
I'm noticing something like that. Oh, this is what presence feels like.
It's so good. Like you can literally hear the pin drop.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really just, with that, want to honor you and invite you to honor yourself for just being here. If there's anything else you can do in this moment in time and you're choosing to make time and space for yourself, for healing and for self-love. So that's big, really big. And the interesting thing that came up during that just meditation on getting present was this concept of commitment. You know, I invited you that you're here, you're committed, then be here. You know, let go of anything that happened before this, let go of anything that needs to happen next, and just be here and make that commitment. And I wasn't planning to talk about this now, but the concept of commitment, right? There's so many times that we want to do stuff like, ooh, I want to travel to Bali. That's so basic of me to say that. Take that, but whatever. I want to travel to Bali, or I want to be a meditation teacher, or I want to get a different job. You know, we say these things that we want, but do we really commit to them? You know, do we really make that choice? And so I invite you as I share my story of what happened today around commitment. I'm going to share my story. It's pretty extreme, and it literally happened today, like right before this call. So as I share my story, see where you relate with it, and how that helps you with the concept of commitment. So today I knew was going to be a full day for me. I was asked to be on Grace's Patreon live stream as a guest. So I was committed to that, and that was at 2 p.m. Pacific. And then we agreed that since I had this circle at 4 p.m. Pacific, we would just do that right after. And we thought 2 to 3.
We were so young then.
I know, we were so young then. We thought 2 to 3. We'll have an hour to like sit and talk and sip tea and prepare for this circle, for this moment. And then I had also committed to a morning shoot for another friend, makeup artist, influencer. She's doing a talk series for her YouTube channel. And so she also wanted me to be one of the guests. But I told her, I was like, I need that to be as early as possible so that I have enough time. And I'm coming from Orange County to LA during rush hour. And, you know, I'm a control freak, so I planned it out. I was like, I woke up at 6:30 this morning. I was going to be in my car, packed by 8:30 to be at the YouTube space by 9:30, 9:45, the latest, early for my 10 o'clock call time. And then that would take however long, and I would have some time to maybe even go to a cafe and prepare for this circle before being over here at Grace's. But I was thinking I would be here by 1:30, the latest. You know, I would ask you if I could even come early, whatever. We would have figured it out. We would have had 30 minutes for the 2 p.m. live stream. I had it all planned out. You know, my Virgo rising, I am a control freak. I love controlling everything and planning it all out, and it goes perfectly. And I had it planned, you know. So another little bit of a backstory, at my apartment building, my boyfriend and I, we live together. We usually have 2 parking spots. Well, we just lost one of ours. So we've been like switching back and forth, but I'm not used to like needing to park in the street sometimes. He usually gets the spot because he comes home late, blah, blah, blah. So I've been parking in the street for the month of March. And it's a little bit further of a walk, you know, and I had some presents for Grace, and I also had some presents for my other friend the other shoot, her name is Kat. She's also part of these healing circles. So I had all this stuff, and I was like walking, and I was like sweating, and I'm like, my car's not here. And I'm like, what? This isn't LA, this isn't Hollywood, this is a residential area. I looked, there's no parking. I wasn't blocking anyone's anything, you know, and I'm just here with all this stuff and my laptop and everything, and I'm like, my car got towed. The worst. My car got towed, and I had no idea, like, why. I couldn't understand why. So I like Googled some numbers, blah, blah, blah. Turns out it got towed 2 days ago. And while I was away at Palm Springs. So it got towed 2 days ago, and I had to go. It got impounded by the police
Wow.
So it wasn't just you go to the tow thing and pay like $1 million. It was I had to go to the police station, pay them like a $200 fee, and then get the release papers to then go to the tow company and pay them, drum roll, $495.
Wow.
$700, okay? And what, like, you know, usually my boyfriend might be home because we work from home sometimes, but he drives a lot for work. And this was a day that he was going to be gone all day. And I still haven't made friends in Huntington Beach. I probably should at this point. So I Ubered to the police station. And I was like, you know, I could probably work some magic. I usually get what I want, you know. And, you know, I was a woman that was very much like, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. And mind you, currently at this point in time, I did not have $700. And even if I did, I still
don't have $700
yeah.
in my bank account. Like, I'm just
even if I did have well, even if I did have it, I still would have wanted to get out of it because that's a lot of money to just like. So anyway, apparently there's a law in California, and this is a statewide law. You cannot park anywhere for more than 72 hours in the street. And nobody knew this. I didn't know this. But because it's written law, they can ding me for it. So I tried to schmooze, and my charms weren't working. I tried to put my no, but she wasn't very. She just kept saying, "There's nothing I can do. You can pay the fee. There's nothing I can do." And I was like, and I like literally, I'm like showing her my bank account. I'm like, what do? Because here's the thing. Even if I didn't, let's say I didn't pay the fee today. Let's say I canceled all the shoot, whatever. I still would have had to the impound or the towing still has it, and they charge by the day. So I called them, and since it was already there 2 days, by law they have to put the lien on my car by tomorrow. So I had to pick it up today. And I even told them, I was like, can I get on a payment plan for this? Like, I don't have this money right now. And so, no, like everything was just a no. I went through like, I felt the anger. I even like yelled at my boyfriend, you know, it was all his fault, of course, like, you know, I made it all his fault, then I made it all my fault, then it was all the police department's fault. Then it was like the city of California, the state of California's fault. It was everyone's fault. It was just whatever. So, but here's the thing. I was committed to making both of these shoots and this circle. And it was, here's like all of the drama and like the victim story aside, as we were talking about victim stories earlier, but I was really clear how committed I was. I was like, I said I do these healing circles every week. I'm doing these shoots. This is important to me. I am not going to let anything stop me. I could go into even more gory details about it, but basically the age-old, you know, everything that could have gone wrong. Hold on, I just need to let someone in. Hey, welcome. Welcome to the circle. I'm telling my story about commitment. Everything that could have gone wrong today did go wrong. The other bonus was when I finally, like, I crowdfunded in my inner circle the money to pay for this. And I Uber to the towing place and I pay the thing and the guy's like, we're ready to give you your car. I search my purse. I don't have my keys. I didn't have my car keys. I didn't have my apartment keys. So that added a whole 40 minutes to everything because I also had to go to the leasing office to get them to my apartment. Anyway. But and both, you know, Grace even said if we could reschedule. Kat even said if you can't make it, it's fine. And I was like, no, I am gonna be there, and it is happening. And here's the beautiful thing: while I had some moments where I was totally like, fuck the world, I hate everyone, I definitely got in touch with like my strength and my power and my access to pleasure and joy. So because I easily could have gotten in the car and just been like really pissed and tense the whole time while driving. But I'm like, I'm not about to drive through traffic from Orange County to Los Angeles pissed off. So like I listened to a podcast that I really love. I was like playing music and it's just like, you know, and here's the grand scheme of things. I'm on my way to like video shoot. How glamorous is that? Like, you know, we're fine. Life is fine. Nobody feels bad for me. So I'm here, and I made both shoots, even though we had to adjust some things. We had a beautiful conversation on Grace's live stream, and also a beautiful conversation on Kat's videos, which will be coming up. Those are edited, so those will be coming out at some point. But I really, really honed in on like commitment, this concept of commitment. So I invited everyone to have a journal, or you can just think about it or visualize it.
Grab a journal, actually.
Yeah, go ahead and grab it. Right. What are you committed to? You know, or I'm just gonna throw out some ideas, but journal whatever comes through for you. But like, really, this concept of commitment, and what is it that you're committed to? What is it that you're willing to struggle for? Because certainly what I was doing today, I'm willing, you know, these healing circles, I'm willing to struggle for because they're important. Yeah, let's just start there. Or you can even write the word commitment on the top and just let her rip. But let's take a couple of minutes to do that. I'll time us, but I'll do this too. Does anyone have any questions about what we're doing?
No.
Okay, great.
Up. There, oops. You stay with Mama. Come on.
Take another minute. I totally was not timing. Let's do 1 minute. About 20 more seconds. All right, wrap it up. And I would like to hear from some of you, because so I'm going to unmute everyone, and then whoever would like to share, just share your name. And you don't have to read what you wrote, but just like what's coming through for you as a realization or anything that wants to be witnessed in this moment.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Where are you, by the way?
I'm in Florida right
Florida.
now.
I love it. We're
I'm
like
on
all
the
over the
west.
world
I'm on the
here.
West Coast, Sarasota.
Mhm.
Actually, Longboat Key, which is one of the keys, one of the islands off the mainland of Sarasota. And I'm here for a month. This is my second winter. I was here last March, and it's a beautiful place. And they have so much to offer. There's all kinds of culture, and there's all kinds of beaches, and there's all kinds of exercise. And I had a great opportunity this past weekend because I really am trying to work on my meditation. That's one of my goals, is to really get back into meditation. I hope to offer meditation classes when I get back to upstate New York. So I participated in a Buddhist retreat Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Amazing.
It was amazing. It just kind of fell into my lap, and I went because I wanted to meditate and did not realize that it was going to be all, it started Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. I met great people, and that the whole Buddhist philosophy, religion, or whatever you want to call it, it just really resonated with me a lot. Oops. Okay, now I'm looking at somebody. Who am I looking at?
Oh, that's okay. It's
Oh.
sometimes when someone makes a noise or if they're talking.
Oh, okay, good.
Go to them.
So anyway, kind of like this is perfect timing for some of the issues that I went through over the weekend. And I think for me, it's truly letting go of that, the negative self-talk. You would think that at this point, that I had let it go. And I think I have, but I realize that what I do is I stay safe. And for me, the safe part is my intellectual part. I know that I'm bright. I know that I'm resilient. I know that I have a lot to offer people. People respond well to me. And for me, it keeps me very safe. Where what I avoid then is dealing with the lack of self-esteem or the insecurities, because I don't want to feel that pain. So I stay safe, but as a result, I always carry it with me. And what I wrote down all weekend long was, let go. I need to let go so that I can truly be the best that I want to be for myself, not for anybody else. Because I am successful. I have a lot going on in my life, but there's that little, still that little part of me that I don't appreciate really who I am. And I think because by not appreciating it, I'm not really getting all that I feel I deserve. I limit myself because I keep myself safe.
So
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I relate to I think we both relate to the intellectual side, keeping it safe. So how does that relate to this concept of commitment that we're talking about? And is there something now that you've seen this that you're willing to declare boldly that you're committed to or step into? I was just
absolutely. I mean, I wrote it right down. Where is it? Where's my little paper that when you were talking? I mean, I'm committed now to letting go of this. I'm because it's draining. It's draining to hold on to this pain, because by not dealing with the pain, I just kind of keep it stuffed down. It shows itself in different ways. If I have trouble sleeping, which I have terrible trouble sleeping, or I still have issues with overeating or not eating right, or it's not, there's no balance. There's no balance. And the reason I don't have the balance is because I only go in a safe direction. So the scale is tilted. The scale is tilted. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The scale is everything intellectual is great, but the emotional side is down.
Okay, I see what. So, because my question was going to be, what's the unsafe? That's not really unsafe, but it feels like it is. So, is it leaning into the emotions? Are you saying you're gonna give yourself more permission to feel the emotions?
Exactly.
Okay. So that you can let go.
Because the hurt that I carry, I've carried it for so long, and you think, well, didn't you get rid of that already? Didn't we do that? Didn't we do that at Deepak, when we were
Yeah.
there? I mean, come on. And you think, okay, so I'm good now. I'm all good. But no, I think it's I don't know what the word is. It's almost like it's not a facade. I don't know what the word is, but I know that I come across very strong, very positive, very confident, and
We
underneath.
all have our stuff though.
Yes. It's kind of like, I used a great example this weekend of a duck. All right. Are you ready? Here it is. The duck.
We're ready for the duck. We're ready for it.
Are you ready? The duck. Okay. You see the duck, swimming or whatever they do on the lake, right? And they look so calm and together, and there they are, just going across the lake with a little quack here, a little quack there. But underneath those little webbed feet, they are flying, they are scurrying. And some of that is good because they want to get moving, right? You want to get to where you want to go. But the problem is that they're scurrying to avoid. To avoid. They don't want to bring it to the surface. Whether they're scared or whether they think they're not going to make it, they just don't want people to know that underneath they're scurrying. They love that. They love that how they come across. But underneath, they're in pain because they're scurrying. Those little legs, those little feet are trying to do their thing. But it's painful. And it's painful to do that. So anyway,
that's such a good point. The duck, I'm so happy that we've got the duck, and I just like to write while I talk. So if I'm writing, that's what I'm doing. But the other piece too that you brought up that I love to teach, and actually it's one of the cards in my Oracle deck. I'm like forgetting what card it is at this point, but it's essentially, we think that we've already learned that lesson, but the thing is the point of life is we take them deeper. So it's not like, you're back at square one with the negative self-talk, or for me, self-love is my lifelong lesson, and it's like, I'm never gonna yay, I love myself, I'm done,
Right.
It's always gonna be that same lesson, or another lesson for me that always pops up is boundaries,
I mean, I think self-love is like the umbrella. You make that umbrella, and then underneath the umbrella are all these other little parts that all define and describe self-love, and some are clearer than other sections, and that's what I want to work on is making it clear.
So I'm so glad that you brought that up to the surface. Does anyone else want to share about what came through for their journaling? And again, if you share, just share your name and then what came through for you. And I think Ellen said she had to go. So bye, everyone. Say bye, Ellen. Thanks for being here. Bye, Ellen. Unless she's gone already. Or she's gone already.
Oh, yeah. Ellen left the meeting. Okay. Oh, I get that too.
Yeah, because we're all here together.
The whole thing is amazing. This whole thing that we're doing this on the phone. It's crazy. Crazy.
Does anyone else want to share? You can share too.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah. We're in. This is all the circle.
Hello, I'm Grace. So I have this idea of being a heart-centered leader, which is something I'm really committed to. And putting that into practice means meditating and practicing not being so reactive. If I want to be the kind of leader I want to be, that means meeting myself and meeting other people with more compassion and patience. And myself is a big part of that, as we've spoken about today. And I know that meditation really helps that. And I'm committed to doing the things that at least I know help all the rest of my actions work out. So I know that meditation every day helps me meet other people with more compassion and patience. And so I have to commit to doing that practice. I know that really keeps me in alignment with this sort of role I want to have, then I have to do it. And another part of being a heart-centered leader that I'm exploring now is like not always needing to be the center of attention. Like leadership isn't being the center of attention.
Yeah.
And that conference, we had spoken before this started about like a leadership conference that I teach at, and it's happening in a week. And this year I'm actually not teaching anything. I'm just going as an attendee.
To attend.
And it'll be like the 4th year I've gone and I'm not teaching anything. And it's going to be an ego check. And I'm like really excited because it's probably going to be hard. And I'm like,
I have something to add.
Yeah. And I'm like I shouldn't always be the center of attention. If I want to be the kind of artist, leader, whatever that I say that I am, that means letting other people take the spotlight or being a better listener, checking my ego, being more compassionate. And so I'm like, that's something that I know that I'm also committed to that. Like there's like some practices I have ahead of me that are going to be really good places for me to like put this mentality in place.
Yeah, the thing that came up for me as you were saying that, it's like a question, but it's also like a word. So the word is receiving.
Yeah.
And then the question was, do you feel that it's about being vulnerable and surrendered enough to receive? Is that part of it? Or is there a layer of that in there?
Like, that's the difficulty, sort of?
Whatever it means to you, but because I relate to like the center of attention thing and the, I want to teach. And for me, the other side of it was because it was like, what am I willing to receive? And because that's a whole, yes, being in the spotlight and teaching is vulnerable in itself, but I think you and I are similar in the sense that that's actually the safety zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so actually just being the student or receiving. And that's why I just wanted to say the word, because I didn't want to like put word, like define it for you. I was just curious.
Well, and I think that like queen energy, feminine power would be receiving.
Yeah.
Like queen energy would be receiving, or that's what grace is, it's like holding space for others. And so I want to be that so badly, but I have to get out of my safety zone, which is like being the smartest person in the room. You know what I mean?
All the intellects in here.
We are. It related so much to what Gloria said, like so much. It's a bit of a self-protective thing. Sometimes, and the same is true like when I say I want to be more compassionate and less reactive, like that's because it's a safety zone for me to go, well, I know how people should act because I'm always right, so let me when people are maybe being rude or whatever, I don't have to like snap back with like, well, I'm such a good person.
Let me teach you something about kindness.
Let me teach you. So I still have to work on myself.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't have to do that. I don't have to judge. Like, I can be more patient with others, and not be so caught up in my egoic idea of how right I am.
I mean, and that's so. We talked earlier, Grace and I, about shadow stuff, but I know I can bring it in here. And I'm seeing like the common thread. And actually, let me share mine too, and then like we can all tie it together. But like, it just taking deeper the story that I shared, aside from all the drama of it and like the fun facts of it, truly at the core of it was like, I'm really committed to this work, because the video that I was shooting earlier with Kat was about, we talked a lot about being an artist and, the difference between doing art for pleasure and for the joy of it, or just for the sake of the art versus for the attention of it, and to put it out there and to share. And like, how do we balance what the people want versus like what our soul wants to express? So we talked about a lot of like deep things like that. And that is important to me, and especially like being two women two artists coming to each other to talk about these things is very important to me, because I feel like the world just needs more of that. And that's very much like what Grace did on her live stream, just two women speaking really raw and vulnerably about shit, and I know like those of you on this call live now, we've also had those experiences. So taking it deeper, I wrote, I'm committed to a healed world. it's like, even just saying that, because that can be said as a throwaway, like, I'm committed to a healed world, but like, I'm truly like, no, like, that's what I'm committed to. And I went through all the shit that I went through today to, yes, like, be on camera and talk, but also underneath it that's the commitment. And so I'm committed, and I wrote other things, but that's essentially the meat of it. And I think what I'm seeing is, like, I think all of us here are, and even if you're not, that's okay. But I think you don't come to something called Courageous Self-Love Healing Circle if you're not committed to a healed world in some way. So I see that. And then I also see, like, we use this intellect as protection. Also this, I think, being on stage, from what I know too, on some level, everyone that's live now, and probably some of you watching the recording, on some level you long to be seen, whether it's your physical image or your words or your art. I know you probably long to be seen in some way. And there is a little bit of a thing there, because I think our society says, ooh, that's selfish, that's being a braggart if you want to be seen. But it's like, not everyone wants to be seen. So wouldn't our desire to be seen somehow be serving, you know? So there's that piece of it. But then we can also check ourselves. Like, is it coming from ego, though? Is it coming from protection? Is it coming from, I need to say what I need to say because I need to be right? Or I need to show how much I know? Or I need people to see, look how smart I am. You know,
Yeah.
Is it coming from that? And even if it is, excuse me, even if it is, that's okay. Like, I'm very much an integration person. Like, it's all okay. And but is it energetically aligned with where you want to be, you know? And I was also sharing earlier, like, I'm very much like, I go on my soapboxes, especially on Facebook and online. And I'm like, this is the way the world is, and this is how it has to be. And sometimes it serves, because I am truly coming from a place of, I'm sharing my truth, and this is what is healing for me, and I know will heal and serve others who read it, whether they agree or not. But sometimes it's coming from, let me fucking tell you how it is. And that just doesn't work for me energetically. It just depletes me. It's exhausting. I just don't want to fight anymore sometimes. So I don't even know, like, how we kind of got here, but I think it was like just seeing, like, the thread of that. So yeah.
Well,
I want Lori wants to say something.
Yeah. Because I'm listening to you about, you know, that need to be seen, and having a balance, and not coming from just the ego. And what I'm thinking about is, I don't know if I'm thinking out loud, so that we'll have to kind of sort it all out. But I'm thinking that, you know, there's the big picture, and then there's the little picture, or the big world and the little world. In the big world, I really don't have control over the big world. I mean, look at what's happening in our world. And, you know, we could talk forever about the state of our country, the state of other countries, what is going on, the leaders, the corruption, the whatever, the diseases. I mean, there's nothing that I can really do about that. And so what I need to do is focus on the little world. And the little world for me are the people that I come in contact with. And if I can help them, and if they can help me, if it can be mutual, then that's a good thing. So I think about my family, my friends, and I think about, like, what is my purpose? My purpose is to serve others, to help others, but by the same token, on a small scale. Because on the big scale, it's not gonna, I can't do it. I can't do it. There was a great movie that I always talk about, and I think I'm the only person that has ever seen this movie. It was in the 90s, and the name of the movie is The Grand Canyon. And Morgan Freeman, Steve Martin, Kevin Kline are three people that were in this movie. Wow. It's a fantastic movie. And so you think, you know, you have no idea what it's about. You just think, okay, it's about the Grand Canyon. And so, so I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, where the fuck is the Grand Canyon? I don't understand why this movie is called the Grand Canyon. It's like, where is it? And it's all about relationships and, people there's depression. I mean, it's really kind of like life. And then toward the end of the movie, they arrive at the Grand Canyon. There they are, sitting at that north rim, looking at it. And you realize that you are totally insignificant. It's like the Grand Canyon, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
That is really big. And you are really this small.
Mm-hmm.
This small. So what it did for the people in the movie and what it did for me is it helped me to put things in perspective. So I didn't have that ego, or that I work on not having that ego, because I'm really a very small part of the whole picture. Nature, the universe, whatever you want to call it, it's beyond our control. We can't fix that.
Yeah.
But so that's why these people in the movie, and that's why I focus on who can I really make a difference with, and this way it helps me to not come from a point of ego where I have the answers, I have the solutions. Listen to me, because I know that I'm just one small little person. The three of us together, we can reach more people, which is great. But there has to be that community. There has to be that community, and recognizing what the boundaries are, what the limitations are.
Yeah.
And so there are many times when I love letting go. I love letting go. I love not being in charge, because it's an opportunity for somebody else to grow and develop, and it's allowing me to step back a little and to receive.
Yeah.
I circled the word receive when you mentioned it, because that's what I want. I want to be able to receive. And if you are always the ego, you can't receive. You just can't. You're out there.
It's like closed. Yeah. And I love that you brought like the concept of community, and it just bringing it back. This is what, like, I had this idea to do these healing circles every week.
Yeah.
And like on so many levels, it kind of made no sense. But then on so many levels, it's the only thing that makes sense in my life right now. And so I'm just so glad. I mean, that's what this is about,
Yeah.
I wanted to pause because I didn't know, again, if anyone else on the line, because there are a couple of others here live with us. Is anyone, I know sometimes people multitask when they're listening and they listen later. Does anyone else that's on the line want to jump in, whether they want to talk about commitment or receiving or anything else? Just Mystery 919. I'm thinking of it.
Where is that? Do we even know where that is? 919?
No. And I think that whoever it was here last time too. And if you want to remain a mystery, that's also great. Well, let's pause still. Anything anyone else would like to add? So we do have 10 minutes. I mean, we went a little longer last week, but that's because we had a lot more people on live. But I would like to wrap it up in the next 10 minutes or so. And the theme, though, that we've been talking about, we've been talking about forever. It's like literally this is the second one.
You've been talking all day.
But the theme for these healing circles last week and this week, and I intended for it to be the theme is self-love and money, purely because in the Facebook group, that's what most people voted for to talk about. So I just want to tag back to last week, because some of you were here and some of you weren't, or some of you saw the recording. And we talked about like where you were at in the abundance thermostat. And what that was like, if 100 was like abundance pouring at you from all like relationships, friendships, love, passion, creativity, energy, vitality, money, all of that, that's 100. and from 0 to 100. So we talked about that, and then we also talked about what no one was at 100. So let's just say that.
Right.
And then we talked about what was the gap. So everyone kind of got to share, and we did some journaling around the gap. And then we also did some journaling and diving into what you were taught about money by your parents, growing up, things like that. So with all of that, I just want to take it a little deeper. And I know, Gloria, I don't know if did you catch the recording?
No, I didn't.
So we spent like an hour and 15 minutes on that. So there's a lot of journaling prompts and stuff. And
Can I still get that recording? Is
yeah,
that still available to me? Okay.
Yeah, I'll make sure you get the link. You should have it in your email, but I'll make sure.
I probably do.
Yeah.
Everything is on the phone.
So, but I feel this is all tied, because money is very much directly related to self-worth. And so, where can let's all share, whoever wants to share, where is an area of your life where self-worth is not at 100 on the thermostat? And what support do you think you need to raise that thermostat? So you can actually let's take like a minute just to journal about it to see if like anything comes through, and then we can share as needed. So I'll just repeat it again, also for the recording purposes, but where in your life is self-worth not at 100, the highest it can possibly be? And what do you think you need to support you to bridging that gap? And so that could be money, it could be relationships, it could be body image, it could be sexuality, health. You can even name a few, but yeah, just take a minute to journal on that. Well, now it's 30 seconds, but I'll give 30 more seconds. Oops, I pressed repeat. Okay, wrap up your last sentence or so. And then, Mystery 919, I'm still hoping to hear from you. Gloria, you're still there?
Oh yeah, I'm writing. Oh yeah. Okay. So, oh my God. Too much. But well, it's interesting. I mean, I feel very blessed. I do have a lot of abundance in my life. I have a loving family, loving friends. What else do I have? Oh, my career path. Even though I retired in 2005, I've constantly reinvented myself. I do some health coaching. I do some spiritual sharing. I do book groups. I really, whatever is out there, it's like, sure, I'll do it. I'll try it. That sounds good. And, my physical fitness is good. But I think for me, the issues are really, I think, interconnected. I don't have a good body image, which I think prevents me from looking for a loving relationship. Because what I wrote down is I have a fear of rejection. I don't like how I look, so I don't think that somebody would find me attractive. And so therefore, I'm afraid that I'm going to be rejected. And what I wrote down is, why am I so obsessed with this word rejection? I mean, everybody who I've spoken to, and I'm sure that you'll agree, everybody has a fear of rejection. You go on that first date, it's like, is he going to like me? Am I going to come across nice? What if he doesn't call me back? And blah, blah, blah. And it's interesting because I did meet a gentleman about a month ago, and, we definitely hit it off, and he wanted my phone number, and I was all excited. And so I gave him my phone number, and of course he never called. But it was interesting. This was like the first time that I felt that's okay. That was okay. We had a great time, and I don't know why he didn't call. Maybe he's traveling, maybe he's just, maybe he's just not into me. But I didn't take it as I was rejected. I wasn't pretty enough, tall enough, too tall, too old, too. I just let it go, and it felt good. But I don't know why that was such a unique experience for me. Because I just that the whole thought of rejection is very scary. So rather than face rejection, I don't put myself out there. I come back to the word safe. I keep myself safe. Where I'm safe, that's where I shine.
So
and
what
if
do
it's
you
not safe, I don't do it.
What do you think you need most to support you? If you could distill it into like a thing.
That's a good one. Let me think about that. I don't know. I circled the word rejection.
Acceptance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, your homework then is, now that I'm giving everyone homework.
I love it. Homework.
I think noodle on that. Think about what you need to support you through this, because especially from knowing this is important to you, and and the reason why I had that question for us all to think about, where do you need support, is because this is the community, and maybe we can provide it for each other. So noodle on it, and then keep us posted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are we having our meeting next Tuesday again?
Yeah. So,
okay,
and
good.
I'll wrap us up in a little bit, but I want to give whoever wants to share an opportunity.
Yes, of course.
If it's okay to go a few minutes past the hour. Mystery 919, do you want to share anything? Oh, you're welcome. Do you want to share anything, Grace?
Yeah, I haven't been in a real committed relationship for like more than 2 years, since before I moved to LA. And so I know that that's something I want now. Like, I'm clear on wanting that. But I know that like I don't communicate that well. My signal that I put out is very like unattainable bad girl. And that's a miscommunication of what I actually want that I'm responsible for. So I want a relationship, and for myself, I want to be better at how I communicate, how I ask for what I want, and who I go on dates with. Like, I want to make sure that I'm going out with people who want the same thing, and that I'm articulating clearly what I'm looking for. And I mean, in terms of support, it's in part just being around the right men or the right people. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't totally know. Yeah. I had the support of a coach recently who was, who was on my team enough to point out that I miscommunicate, and that was helpful. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I probably do the same thing, Grace. I don't think I
Yeah.
communicate that I want a
That's
relationship.
certainly where I was too. So I get that. So noodle on it in terms of
Yeah.
Yeah.
noodle on it. For me, it's I've come such a long way with like self-love story and this business and what I'm doing, and I've gotten so much clearer, but I still struggle. And I think that with like self-worth around like even the fact that you're here and like engaged, like there's definitely a part of me that's like, why are you here? You know, and I think that's why like I decided also to do these, like, and I committed, I'm like at least 3 months, at least through May, I'm going to do these every week, and we'll see how it goes as the weeks go by. Could do them for even longer, or like eventually make them like paid or like membership, something, I don't know.
Right.
But I just knew that I had to like do it, just to give myself consistency. But I definitely still struggle with like, why are people listening? Is what I'm saying helpful? Am I helping myself? So I struggle, and that's like a self-worth thing. It definitely ties to like old wounds of like what I had to say didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was the baby, and you know, no judgment against my family, but like, you know, just it's easy to like overlook the little baby, you know. And I'm gonna cry. So like, there's a lot of like, listen to me, I want to be seen and heard. Is anyone?
Well, the expectations, you know, that are put on the baby are different than the expectations like for the firstborn, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, you're cute, you know, you're cute.
Yeah,
Cute,
exactly.
right? Yeah.
So, and actually, it's so funny because when I thought about what I needed for support, I was like, I think I just need like a one-on-one friend talk with someone, either of you, both of you, at some point.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Sure.
I think I need permission to just say all the things, because I feel it. It's like right there, and I'm even hesitant to say it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I want, because I think I'm used to like talking to people and not just explicitly saying like, I need to just be allowed to say everything, and then I want you to reflect back, or like then help me. But like a lot of times, like I'm talking, and it's like, oh well, you just have to do this, or you just need to da 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 da, and I'm just like, no, because I do that, and like, you know what I mean. So I think I just need like, that's what I need, like some unfiltered space to just be like, ah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's me.
Makes sense. No, absolutely. Yeah.
For some reason, it feels weird to like kind of end there, but I think it also feels right, because we all have some noodling to do.
Yeah.
And then for those of you listening live, listening to the recording, I'm imagining you probably have some noodling to do. We talked about some really good stuff here, and I'm sure you can find yourself in any of our stories, any of us who have shared. So I invite you listening to the recording, and also those of you here live, to continue noodling. And the good news is we have next week and the following weeks to keep seeing how this germinates. So again, just as a reminder, you do have to register each week, because I think you get, I did it, anyway, I'm not even going to go there. I set it up a certain way, and so now I think you have to register each week, and because I think you get a unique link every week. And the password's always the same, but and I invite you, if we could be active on the Facebook group about what we talk about here, or just to kind of keep in touch with each other. And if there's anything that you want to cover in the next coming weeks, because this is really just a forum for us to like have these talks and heal each other and ourselves. So I think it feels right to end on a cliffhanger like that. You've got some noodling, I've got some noodling.
It's good. It's good. You know, because it forces you. I mean, again, it goes back to the commitment, which is the first word that you started with, because now, we're committed to moving forward. It doesn't end. It's not like it just stops. We have stuff to work on.
Yeah.
So if we're going to really be committed, then we have to work on our stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. So I always like to end with some form of, I'm leaving here with, or, my favorite moment of this circle was, so we can just go around and just share that. Why don't we let's do favorite moments. Let's do a round of that. Let's start with you, Grace. What was your favorite moment of this circle today?
I loved listening to the story about the Grand Canyon movie, because now I'm going to be thinking deeply about the fact that the Grand Canyon itself receives. That's what it does. And
Right.
It affects everyone who goes there profoundly. And it just holds space, literally, for other people. Whoa.
I didn't even get that piece of it, so I'm so...
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
And this idea that we're all talking about receiving.
Yeah, and the thing is, I have to, let me just qualify, the movie was not met with critical success.
It's not even about the movie, it's what you brought just by bringing up.
Right. But I don't want you to go run out and rent this movie and think it's going to change your whole life. It definitely affected me, but the movie was not like, the movie got a lot of, because I don't think people didn't get that the Grand Canyon, that it wasn't about necessarily the physical Grand Canyon. It was about the concept of who we are in this universe.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll go to play it.
It just receives.
Yeah.
What? Just blew my mind.
Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about that.
I'm going to be thinking about that too. I'm like, dude, Grand Canyon plus receive circle and go.
Yeah, I know.
Gloria, what was your favorite moment?
I guess in general, just feeling so comfortable with both of you. There's a big age difference, obviously. And I just felt that you were very open, and I felt that we were peers. I think that was very big for me, that I felt that we were really on an equal playing field together. And so it's very, what we're going to do for each other. I think there's a mutual support. It's not like the older person is going to be the mother figure. We're all going to figure it out together. And I felt very comfortable with both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mystery 919, do you have a favorite moment that you'd like to share? Actually, I feel like, I don't know if calling you that has actually been an invitation to invite you forward. Regardless, I'm just happy to have you here. I feel the presence. I just like there's someone there listening. I do know too, because last week there was a lot of people on, and some people were like, it was muted, and they were like multitasking and whatever. So, or some people were just silent the whole time, but then messaged me later. So who knows? I'm hoping that you're getting out of this. And I also did say last week too, sometimes people need to process, like, I feel like the three of us were definitely processors by way of sharing.
Yeah.
But others are processors by way of listening or writing or anything. So that's why, no pressure to share. I just always wanted to have the invitation in case there was that. I have a lot of favorite moments, but mine was literally just that moment.
Yes.
When you connected the Grand Canyon and the receiving dots. I just was like,
yeah, that was an aha moment, definitely.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you actually said that word, because that's reminding me. One of my coaches, her name is Joanna, she teaches about the difference between breakthrough and transformation. And so, we come to circles like this, or we go to events and retreats or whatever we go to for the breakthroughs. or the new realization. I sometimes like to say new realization because sometimes breakthrough is like, that's too much pressure. But like any aha moments that we can have, but the transformation comes from practice and mastery and commitment to changing that. Because you can have a breakthrough and then like do nothing about it, you know?
Absolutely.
And so I just invite you all to really think about that. How can I take my breakthroughs and actually create the transformation? And it requires, and that's the reason why like I committed to at least 3 months of this, because it's like I'm going to see people come in and out, you know, and see what happens. But like after a few weeks, like we're going to see what's really here, but that's where the transformation is going to happen. So I invite you to think about that. How can you take your breakthrough, and what is a practice that you need to put in place to really have that transformation? So yeah, and let's do one round before we wrap, and it'll just be like either a sentence, a phrase, or a word I'm leaving here today with.
Oh, okay, wait a minute.
You can go first, Claire.
I'm leaving. Say that again. I'm leaving here
today with.
I'm leaving here today with a clearer picture of what my focus needs to be. You know, when you talked about abundance, that again was kind of a big word, but now I have a clearer definition in my mind of what that needs to be, what my focus needs to be for the next few weeks. So that's good. That is good. Thank you.
You want to share what that is? Because I'm kind of on the edge of my seat. What's the focus?
Oh, on the edge of your seat. I think it's really looking at my it's really looking at that word rejection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that might be the word I want to let go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that might be the thing I want to really put to rest with, because everybody experiences it, and I don't understand why this fear of rejection has really prevented me from pursuing what I really truly want.
Yeah.
And that could be in so many other areas. It could be a relationship or a job or a place to live. So I think for me, it's really, I want to get rid of that word rejection and the power that it has over me. That's it. Power of rejection. I'm writing it down.
Thank you, Claire.
Yeah. Okay.
Soul nourishment. I just feel like a lot more nutrients are in my system than there were this morning.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you. I'm leaving here with connection and sisterhood.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies. And thank you to those of you on the recording. Again, just another friendly reminder to attend next week. And you can register for multiple events. So like if you go to the registration page, it'll have the list of all the dates, or I think at least the next few. And so you can even like click them all, whichever ones you know you're going to make, or even if you think you might make it, it's better to register than to not. So I invite you listening to the recording, and those of you here, register for next week and the upcoming weeks. Stay in touch with me. Be as active on the Facebook as you can, because that helps kind of drive the conversation as well.
Right. Can you just refresh my old mind on how to register again? Where am I going?
I'll send you a link.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
But actually, I can ameliafortes.com/events. There's a more direct link, but that's like the easy vanity URL to say. But Gloria, I'll send you the direct link.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, but ameliafortes.com/events, you'll see. Okay, there's a calendar there. You click on it, you register.
Perfect.
Thank you all. I now
Thank you.
pronounce this circle closed. And thank you
Bye-bye.
everyone to
Bye-bye.
join and everyone on the recording. Bye.
Bye. Have a great evening.